People are unhinged and very rude now, and we have very strong opinions about it.
We're just going to leap right in there
Yeah,
with that statement.
we're not beat around the bush here.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, like an epidemic of rudeness, right? Or rudeness crisis.
Unlike anything I've ever been witness to in my entire life.
And I had never heard of this term before, but apparently there's something called the Gen Z stare. We might have touched on this in
Yeah,
another
we covered
episode.
it.
But the notion that the response to, like, well, that's impolite to just stare at somebody when they say something to you, the response of these kids is, well, we're not going to fall into the performative politeness of your generation. And to me, that's the scariest part, that these kids don't even realize that there's something wrong with being rude.
I just want to say it's not just the kids either, but I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
A large percentage of them are kids, but I'm noticing it with people from another generation as well. I don't know.
It seems to be everybody. Like, I have so many, what do they call them? I won't even say that microaggressions because that has to do with racism, whatever. But the amount of people that I make an attempt to speak to or, say, oh, excuse me. Like, for instance, I was at work a couple months ago and there was a new hire and I bumped into this person. Like, I didn't see him. We were doing a little tango by the microwaves in the break room. And I bumped into this person. I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. No reaction. They just kept doing what they were doing. And I said it louder. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you. Nothing. I said, fuck
Wow.
it. I'm not.
But
I'm not
that
going to say that
happens.
again.
I've
Yeah.
had that happen to me.
And I know they felt me.
In a grocery store where I say, oh, I'm sorry, am I blocking your view? This guy just looked at me. Just looked at me.
Yes, yeah, I don't understand that.
What, are you deaf? That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Yes.
Let me be inclusive here and not offend anybody.
Right.
But okay.
Or do you have ear pods in that I can't
Exactly.
see? That's
Think
often
about that.
the case.
People can't hear you now.
Yeah.
But I'll give you another example. When you walk your dog, there is we have city trash cans in the neighborhood. And I was really appalled. There's one particular trash can that happens to be it's a busy street. And I started to take a picture of it because the trash can was full of poo bags, colored poo bags just piled up. And it took me aback. I was thinking, why doesn't someone think, you know what, that's full? And some city worker has to take all that off the top before they can even empty it. But people continue to pile up, pile up, pile up. The other thing I notice is when you have a holiday, if you live anywhere, even in a residential, neighborhood, but we live in a community of condominiums, and that's going to delay your trash. If they pick it up on Monday, then they're going to pick it up on Tuesday. And people keep piling up and piling up. I have always, if I've come down and it's piled up, then I say, you know what, I'm going to double bag this and I'm going to either take it back upstairs or stick it in my parking space because I know they're going to come on Tuesday now, not Monday. But people don't think about that. And it transcends to other areas.
I mean, I think, like with the poop bags and with the trash, what I think that people, maybe for you, they're not taking that one leap farther, but I think they think they're being good by not just tossing it somewhere. They're putting it where it belongs.
How about taking it home with you? That's
crazy.
But they don't.
Sense,
but
right?
they don't want to then have to make that extra trip, right? Which kind of goes to something else that I know that we've talked about, like people in the grocery store when they put something in their cart and then they decide they don't want it anymore.
Oh, you're making my blood boil on that. Yeah.
Well, you go on with that story.
Well, okay, I was at the store a couple days ago and I'm standing in line looking at stuff, waiting for this person in front of me. No problem. And this man comes and he sets down a little basket with nectarines in it. And I thought, okay, he's going to stand in line behind me. And then he walks away and I just watched him, nothing else to do. And I'm like, okay, he went over and he's looking at some other fruit now. And I watched. He's in the bakery section. And then I said, this dude is not coming back. So I look at the checker and I said, wow, it must be interesting watching people. And she said, yeah, like him that just came and took that off of the display right here and brought it back here. And I said, they really should tell people that it's not against the law to say, I've changed my mind. Like he said it in a water display right at the checkout stand. I don't know what people think, I mean, I wish they would just go the extra mile and say, if I do this, then this could happen. Like, and they don't know that when they set, like, I
But that's
found,
too much. You're talking about accountability now. And I have
because
my
I
own
think
story to
about
go
that.
with
If you
that.
set
But
yogurt in the gum section,
yeah.
instead of just going 2 more steps and saying to the checker, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I know this is a refrigerated item. I'd like to go for it to go back, but I'm not going to, I've chosen not to buy it. If they have to damage that out, it costs money.
Yeah.
Or they could just walk back to the freaking
Or
yogurt aisle and get it
I've
back.
seen that. I've said,
How many people wear eye watches now? You're going to get extra steps if you walk that thing back
seriously?
to
And I have
where it
said, I'm
belongs.
sorry, I'm not going to buy this butter right now. Would you like me to take it back? Because I can. You go on and help the next person. Oh,
Right.
no, we'll get somebody to take it back now. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
That's a normal state of events right
I
there.
guess if
Yeah.
that's what you want to call
we
normal,
don't-
but that's how I
Yeah, I
think.
don't think it's so normal anymore. I mean, just go into even Target or any clothes store. I started thinking about this when you said that about food being left, and I thought, I haven't shopped for clothes in real life for a while, I guess. But I always take everything with me out of the dressing room.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hang everything back up
Yeah.
on the hangers and I carry it out and I will put it back in the right spot
Same.
Too.
that it's supposed to go unless somebody manning the dressing room physically takes it from me and says, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll put it away."
Exactly.
But I've walked into some dressing rooms where there is crap all over the place.
Like a pile of
a
clothes.
pile of stuff. They don't bother rehanging anything. I just don't understand
And
that.
I'm going to just say this. Both of you know that when I first retired, I decided that I would try retail.
Yeah.
And I worked retail for a major department store. And if people knew that when you do not put clothes back where they belong, it affects the shipping process. When you order clothes from a store like Macy's or, Dillard's or wherever you are in the country, if they have only 1 or 2 of those items, oftentimes people who pick what they call picking orders for shipping, you literally will get every day you go and you get a list of, okay, these are the orders that I have to pick. And they give you a certain amount of time to fill those orders. People are literally looking not only on the racks, but they have to go to the dressing room to see, oh, that shirt may be on the floor because somebody tried it on and left it. And you may get that shirt shipped to you
Right.
if they find
Right.
it.
Right.
If people really understood how it works, or even took the time to just think about, well, maybe this is causing, it might be easier. They don't realize it makes prices go up. Also, when items are damaged out, like if they've been trampled on or whatever, I've seen them take a $200 item and it'll end up going into what they call the penny bin, where the store just takes it as a loss. Those clothes literally go to landfills. There's nothing they can do with them. They don't donate it. They can't resell it. It's just damaged out. If a button falls off or people rip off, you'd be surprised at what people do.
Yeah, and it affects other people. On that note, I'll tell my own story about rudeness that unfortunately I've experienced in my recent work history. But I just pulled the definition of rudeness up just to state it. It's a lack of manners, semicolon, discourtesy. Okay. So to be discourteous, it's when your actions are so selfish that they affect somebody else, their well-being, the way they move through the world. And on that note, I work in a building where there are multiple businesses, and so we share 2 sets of bathrooms. And I swear to God, for the last 5 of the 8 years that I've worked in this building, there has been some kind of horrific, disgusting mess left by coworkers or people that I work in the building with in the women's restroom. Now, growing up, of course, you use public restrooms. People do all kinds of weird shit in the bathroom and leave it. Literally shit in the bathroom, right? But this, I'm like, everyone I work around we'll just be generous and say 25 and up. Okay.
So they're all adults.
Everybody's a legally consenting adult who hopefully was raised in a house, whether they was by a grandparent or a parent.
They were not raised by wolves.
Right, exactly. Basic hygiene was taught. Why am I going into the women's restroom and seeing literally feces on the floor or menstrual blood smeared, or like the toilets flush automatically, their motion sensor. But you still have to check and see that everything
Hate
went
that.
down,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Indeed.
Why are you walking? I've seen a coworker literally walk out and the toilet seat cover is stuck. I'm like, you didn't want to look back, bitch, and see that
That's so
everything
nasty.
was. But there was one
Exactly.
week when they were just stepping in. I guess someone had an accident or something or didn't make it, and there was feces on the floor. And I'm like, oh my god, they tracked this out. Of course, I used the other bathroom for the rest of the until the guy cleaned it that Monday. But I'm like, this is insane. Are you walking through shit at home? Do you
Yeah,
shit on the
that's
floor at home?
what don't understand
That's
when I
insane.
see public restrooms like that, because I'm like, is this what you do in your house? Do you
Right.
pee all over the seat and then just leave it? Do you
Right.
pee on the floor and just leave it there?
And then your mind goes to when you work in a place like that, what did they touch?
Yeah,
I
All
got to go
exactly.
and work with them or
Oh,
Right.
beside them, around
exactly.
them.
Because I'm sure we've
Right.
all been where we're in the toilet stall and we hear them somebody else come out and then they
And
just
not
open the
wash
door.
their hands. Yes.
No,
Nasty
no,
bitch.
ma'am.
That's
And
disgusting.
I'm just going to take this to another place too. I have an issue with people spitting in public, even men. I don't understand why somebody would need to do that. And here I go with
Right.
my nursing background. Sputum has germs in it, and those germs rise when it hits the ground. You can inhale that. Okay.
Fun fact, real quick, in India in like the 1920s, they had an outbreak of TB, and to stop the spread, they told people to stop spitting, and it helped reduce the
Absolutely.
infection rate.
Yeah.
Anyway, go
And you
ahead.
mentioned that when you see that, it does affect your day because I think about that. I mean, again, I'm from a different generation. I was raised to be ladylike, sit with your legs closed, don't do disgusting things. No problem out of me. But I am seeing a trend of people, I'm seeing women spit on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. I saw a woman come out the other day. I was like, oh, she looks nice, her makeup and all this. She was with her friend. She spits. And
Ew.
I thought about that for the rest of the day. Like, who does that? And then my mind goes to, are you dating somebody? Is somebody married? Is somebody putting their tongue in your mouth? You're doing that? That's gross. That's just, it's just
You know?
it's just, it fucked me up.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I agree. I agree.
It.
I've seen people do all kinds of nasty shit, and to the people who are gonna maybe listen to this and be critical, like, oh, these are a bunch of judgmental women sitting around. First, fuck you, okay? Respectfully,
Right.
that's a saying
Care
of
about
mine. You might hear it a couple more times, but
We do not care.
if you really, let me, how do I best say this? Like I said before, if you're disgusting, unruly behavior, there's a benchmark for disgusting behavior. I don't believe you can be raised any kind of way, but certain things are disgusting. Feces on the floor, spitting, yelling at people for no reason, being rude, making fun of
Not
people.
responding when people say something directly to you.
Exactly. Not speaking when spoken to. Like Catherine, I think you said it on a few episodes back. We live in a society where we have rules, and it's not like we're living in little isolated lives. There are rules for a reason. We might not agree with them all, but they help the flow of
Exactly.
daily life
And we
go on.
coexist.
Right.
Right. We
Yeah.
have to coexist with people. So, what is the point of making other people feel bad? It's like it's become out of favor to think about somebody else.
Yeah.
And I was reading some kind of little opinion piece in a national paper, and they were saying how the new self-help books these days even seem to trend towards this selfish behavior, because they're all about set boundaries, don't feel bad, don't be ashamed to be a bitch, say no, all of this kind of like protect your own self-worth and your own, what is it, like self-health. And of course you don't want people to take advantage of you
Right.
and trample over you, and boundaries do need to be set, probably mostly because of rude people who don't recognize normal boundaries.
Yeah.
But there is such a thing as isolating yourself too much and just thinking about yourself. That's not healthy either, because
No.
we live in a cooperative society, right? You want the wheels of society to run smoothly.
Right.
Like, you feel bad when somebody is rude to you, right?
And
So,
if you do that, you will see that the flow, the natural vibration,
right,
it
everything
becomes
works
easier.
right?
Everything will
It's the
work
golden rule. Do unto others as you would have
Right.
others do
And
unto you.
so many people
Exactly.
just don't seem to believe that now.
It's crazy.
It's super crazy.
And I wonder, you bring that up, we keep saying it's crazy. I know that people's usage of antidepressants and drugs has increased, like what, we'll say over the past maybe 40 years. I wonder if there's a mental health component.
Well, and people,
you know?
people talk about, there have been studies done about loneliness and how it's actually this huge epidemic of loneliness in younger people that are in their 20s. When you think, wouldn't that be sort of the heyday of your having friends and connecting with people?
Right. Start being nice to people.
But
talk to them.
yeah, but they're not used to, frankly, they're not
Engagement.
used to dealing with people in real life. I mean, COVID plays into it in some ways. I mean,
Before COVID.
the COVID shutdown was also just like a couple of years, really. But
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the age of who we're talking about, I mean, my sister-in-law is a elementary school teacher, and she talks about, so let's see, I think she's recently been teaching 3rd grade. Now she's teaching 5th grade. So, the kids are pretty young. So when we were in COVID lockdown, we're talking about these kids were probably in their prime years for learning social interaction. So she's got kids in like 5th grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, that she has to teach to say, "Good morning, Mrs. So-and-so."
Because they grew
When
up
she
with
says, "Good morning, Mary,"
Yeah.
you need to respond back to me. "Good morning," use my name. You need to look me in the eye when you say this. And it's crazy to me that kids are in the 4th grade and do not know how to do that.
Those are kids who grew up with some sort of device in their hands, even though, how old are they? Well, how old are you in the 5th grade? You know what I mean? When they were toddlers, they had a device,
Right, right.
some sort of pad, playing a game in their
And I think people are so used to dealing with people maybe online that they've forgotten that their behavior can actually really affect somebody. Like,
Have consequences.
Right. If you don't see the person and you don't see the reaction to your being rude or using that word or something, you just feel like it's no big deal.
Or whatever.
I can just say these things, right? And also you just forget how to actually talk to somebody. Like, oh, I should look the person in the eye when I'm speaking to them. I should respond when spoken to. It's not like somebody shoots you a text and then you answer 20 minutes later or something.
Right.
or don't, or leave the text hanging.
Right.
I feel
Somebody.
that's just
Right. I find that incredibly rude.
Me too.
And I have a hard time with some people explaining that, if I text you something and you have absolutely no response back, that's rude. I'm sorry. How many times do I have to tell you that I think that's rude?
yes.
And if you don't think it's rude, and I tell you I think it's rude, you should adapt your behavior because
Absolutely.
you realize
At least
that I think
find an emoji that will
Right.
suffice.
Right. Send a thumbs up
Yeah.
for Gen Z.
Right.
That's what the thumbs up are for, Gen Zers.
Exactly.
When you don't really care, but you
Right.
need to respond. But in all of this, in our recognizing the current societal rudeness, I think there is a path forward, right? There's some solutions we can take.
Right, right.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, I definitely think parents need to step up and they need to be conscious of modeling good behavior. The parents should not be on their screens all the time.
Because the kids are definitely looking at you.
Exactly, exactly.
Adults too, get out and socialize.
Right, right. I mean, I don't know how many of the baby boomers, I guess, baby boomers and before, who remember who Emily Post is, who's the queen of etiquette. And, of course, etiquette rules change. Basic politeness, however, does not. And I guess that's what I really feel, that somehow it's become out of fashion. Like it's old fashioned to be polite. It's never
it's
old
not.
fashioned to be
I
polite.
went to Sears Charm
Right.
School.
And I mean, apparently, like Emily Post, her family is continuing her legacy, right? There's some sort of post etiquette school or something, and maybe we ought to bring that back.
We should bring it back.
Absolutely. Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another episode. If you enjoyed what you heard, please follow, comment, and reach out on our socials. Also, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you resonated with anything in the episode, be it products or topics, make sure to check the show notes for additional information, or shoot us an email if you like. See you next time.